Hello. My name is Charlie Carriero, and I'm currently an undergraduate student here at the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the College of Arts and College of Physical and Engineering Science Convocation this morning. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the curtains behind me and shown on the cover of the convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links to the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to the liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognosce causa, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall are also influenced by ancient tradition. The pipal will herald the start of procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority, and the university will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the vice-chancellor, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degree will be conferred in the order that you see in the program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degrees being awarded within the college. We will begin with the doctorates and magisteriates, followed by the baccalaureate degrees. The name reader will present scholars to the vice-chancellor by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The Vice-Chancellor will greet each student at the center stage, and a photograph will be taken. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduands has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause. Once all degrees are conferred and the cheers cheered, the Vice-Chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all the platform party has processed out of the hall. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for Convocation. Please share your photos, memories, advice with graduating students, all by joining us on social media using the hashtag GuelphGrad. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduands on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph.
Let us together sing, O Canada. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Let us pause for a moment and reflect with our whole selves on our unique journeys, our distinct callings, and our place in this complex and mysterious world. In this moment, we acknowledge the Attawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph now stands. We offer our respect to their Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors. We remember that the world as we experience it is not the world as it has always been. Further, it is not the world as it must always be. In this moment, we give thanks for those friendships that have blessed us over the course of our studies. We are grateful for those who have supported us and held us up, faculty, staff, mentors, and families. I invite you now to embrace a short silence, and in your own way, be it through prayer or remembrance or thoughtful affirming, recognize that for which you are grateful. As we open ourselves to a new season of life, may the knowledge that we have attained here be coupled with wisdom, colored with compassion, and marked with humility. May we embrace each new opportunity in ways that honor creation, that foster community, and defends the dignity of all people. And may the mystery of life and each new moment bring us laughter and delight as we seek to be agents of grace and peace and hope for this world. Amen. You may be seated.
Good morning, everyone. Let me first welcome Wendy Miller, member of our Board of Governors, honorary fellows, and faculty of the university, family and friends, and most important of all, graduates. I also extend a particular welcome to this morning's honorary degree recipient, Dr. Mark Lottens. Welcome to the celebration of Convocation at the University of Guelph. I am Charlotte Yates. I have the honor of serving as Provost and Vice President Academic at the University of Guelph, and today I have a special honor as serving as the Acting Vice Chancellor. I'm privileged to welcome you to Convocation. First off, graduates, this is your big day. You've worked hard, you have persevered, and you have made it. Well done and well deserved. I also have the great pleasure of offering you a few remarks, hopefully that you will reflect on today and in the days to come. Think fast. We've all heard that expression. You don't often hear anyone tell you to think slow, but that's my main message today. You need to think fast and to think slow. And it's a paradoxical message. Right now, thinking fast might seem more pertinent in the world you're about to enter. And this is in part because of the vast volume of information and change that we witness every day in the world. And this brings us to what I call the river of knowledge. We used to talk about a sea of knowledge, and now we're navigating a river of knowledge, one that is growing larger and flowing faster all the time. In 2013, shortly after many of you arrived here at Guelph, the digital universe, that's all the data and created and copied each year, amounted to about 4.4 zettabytes of information. How much information is that? Imagine the amount of memory that you could store in a stack of tablet computers reaching 2/3 of the way from Earth to Moon. That's a heck of a lot of data. We live in a world of big data, and big data doesn't stand still. The digital universe doubles in size roughly every 2 years. By the time our today's incoming undergraduates finish their degrees in 2020, they will graduate into a digital universe expected to have grown tenfold to 44 zettabytes of information, to the moon and back with information. That's a big river of knowledge. But what really matters is not just the volume of data, but the flow rate of that river. And to manage this flow rate and to understand it, we need new ways of thinking. The shelf life of knowledge is decreasing. This means that we need to process new and more information in the same amount of time. We need to think faster and in new and different ways. Speaking as a parent of university-age children, I believe your minds are different from those of your parents and my generation. I see you absorb information and how you interact with information and technology, and quite frankly, it's astonishing to me. Often I look at this and think, this is just another form of distraction and lack of attention. However, I really believe that what I'm seeing in you is adaptation to a very fast-paced world of information. Our brains evolve and adapt. You have learned to absorb lots of information and think fast, adapting your responses to the new information. Your brains have adapted to this fast-paced world. So too have organizations had to adapt to this new world of big data and fast-paced change. Today, we expect institutions to innovate and continuously evolve. Innovation has become an operational necessity for short-term planning and long-term vision. And the time for innovation has shortened. We innovate today in months, not years. For example, since Apple first introduced its iPhone in 2007, the company has released an astonishing 12 models. That's a new model every 8 months or so. Like an improved heart monitor or a vacuum cleaner, a new iPhone allows us to do the same things faster and more efficiently. Doing the same things faster and more efficiently, that's what we call Innovation 1.0. To look ahead in an increasingly global and interconnected world, what we need now is Innovation 2.0. Innovation 2.0 recognizes that the problems we seek to solve are bigger and more complex, and that we need to think harder and longer about how to solve these problems and how to find new opportunities out of these problems. We also need to change how we think. The complexity of today's problems require that we think carefully about how we define the problem and the approach we will take to solving that problem. Innovation 2.0 requires us to balance two kinds of thinking: reactive thinking and reflective thinking. Reactive thinking is what helps a driver navigate the twists and turns of the road from moment to moment. Reflective thinking, or slow thinking, enables you to decide which road to take. Some university research produces quick wins focused on meeting a particular need or want. Other research and innovations come from slow thinking over the long term. Slow thinking, usually done with teams of researchers and innovators, each bringing their own unique knowledge and skill sets to bear on solving a problem. Slow thinking has revolutionized fields. and it will continue to allow us to solve the big problems of the world, such as feeding what is a growing population around the world. This fall, the University of Guelph received a federal government research investment worth $77 million for a project aimed at feeding our growing population in sustainable ways. It's the largest single research investment made by the government of Canada at the University of Guelph. And it's intended to solve a huge problem. The Earth will support 9 billion people by mid-century. We need to figure out how we feed them and feed them sustainably. Our project, Need Food from Thought, will look for ways to improve crop and animal production, enhance food safety, and livestock health. Our research will define how we produce and distribute food to the world's population. Meeting that challenge will require reactive thinking as well as reflective thinking to help us anticipate and meet long-term problems. All of you, as you graduate today, will be asked to use both reactive and reflective thinking as you navigate this new data-rich and fast-paced world. Some of you will do this through employment in existing businesses, nonprofits, and governments. Others of you will use your ideas and innovations to start your own businesses. Today, more post-secondary students are starting their own businesses than 20 years ago. As students at the University of Guelph, you have benefited during the past few years from an environment that nurtures freedom of thought and expression and inquiry. An environment that promotes and supports openness to new ideas. One that invites varied perspectives on a problem or an opportunity. We've encouraged you to think in novel ways, to ask the right questions, not just provide the right answers. We've encouraged you to think in disciplined ways, as well as interdisciplinary ways. As with food from thought, big problems need lots of minds thinking together to come up with solutions. We need like minds, but also unlike minds from varied backgrounds and perspectives. There's a proverb that goes something like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You're about to explore and discover the next phase of your lives. Go together, and remember to think fast and think slow. Thank you.
Madam Provost. On the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, it is a great honor to present to you the candidate, Dr. Mark Lottens, for the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Dr. Lottens, who graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Guelph in 1981 and a PhD from the University of Wisconsin at Madison in 1985, has had a long and distinguished career in synthetic organic chemistry. This is a challenging and demanding field, but Dr. Lottens has excelled in it. His research has simplified the steps needed to create complex compounds, and he has invented chemical processes that enable the design of new medicinal molecules. The result of these new processes has been significant reduction in the environmental impact of the production of medications. Through more than 355 publications and 350 invited lectures, Dr. Lottens has shared his discoveries and knowledge with the world, and the world has appreciated it. His accomplishments have been recognized with numerous awards in Canada and internationally. These acknowledgments of his contributions were capped with Dr. Lottens' appointment as an officer of the Order of Canada in 2014. His legacy goes beyond his personal research, as he has also trained and mentored more than 150 graduate students and postdoctoral fellows who have themselves reached towards the heights of scientific research. Many now hold university faculty positions or our leaders in industry, thanks to the skillful teaching and willingness to go above and beyond to support his students. In addition, Dr. Lawtons has maintained a strong connection to the University of Guelph over the years, including donating generously to the school, Department of Chemistry, for 27 years. He recently created the Lawtons Prize in Organic Chemistry for graduating chemistry students from this university, providing yet another avenue of support for those taking on this challenging but exciting field. Madam Provost, it is my honor to request that you confer upon Mark Lawtons the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
By the authority of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Science. Congratulations. It's a pleasure to have you here.
At this time, we would like to present a special degree posthumously to David Fell, who sadly died on August 19th. David was a third-year Bachelor of Arts student and a member of the Griffin varsity golf team. David will be remembered by those who knew him as a shy and quiet first-year student who became a confident young man. David was also a leader and mentor to his teammates. Brandon McLeod, the varsity golf coach, described David as a great golfer, a better leader, and even a better person. We are pleased that today we can recognize David's accomplishments. I would like to invite David's parents, Bob and Elizabeth, and his brother Joshua, to come up and accept the degree on David's behalf.
Dr. Mark Lawtons will now give the convocation address. Dr. Lawtons.
Madam Provost, Deans, and all other special guests at the podium, thank you very much for this great honor. And for those of you in the audience, have no fear, I won't talk about organic chemistry. So good morning to each of you. I want to welcome every member of the graduating class, their families, their friends. It's really a great honor for me today to stand here and celebrate completion of your degree. And get ready as you prepare to embark on the next phase of your lives. A degree from the University of Guelph takes great effort, dedication, and perseverance. So congratulations and well done. So now I wonder, how many of you are feeling some uncertainty about what lies ahead? Probably more than a few. Even if you have very, very specific plans, you may find life does not unfold with quite the simplicity that you have in mind. You are likely to find some twists and turns going forward, but with an open mind, some great things can happen. Now, I've been told no one remembers much about their commencement address. So I've never attended any of my commencements, so I actually can't say anything about that. But in spite of the long odds that I face today, I wanted to share with you some thoughts and experiences from my time at Guelph and in the days that followed. And I want to stress at the very beginning that these are very, very ordinary stories, and that's exactly my point. most often ordinary events are what shape our lives. So about a year ago, I sat on stage, very much like this, at my daughter Margot's graduation from the University of Toronto. And I listened to an esteemed architect talk about his contributions that led to an honorary degree. Of course, had I known I'd been standing in his place a year later, I probably would have paid closer attention. But what I remember about that address was a comment that he made about the most important gift that an architect could have. And his answer might surprise you as much as it surprised me. Because he said that the love of people was the most important quality, because in order to be a truly good architect, you have to create buildings that make people's lives better, whether they're at work, at home, or at play. So if you take away only one impression today, I hope it's that you can see that your future depends on you being open and willing to take advantage of opportunities that may seem small and insignificant, but can ultimately make a huge difference in your lives. The people who offer those opportunities may be some of the most important people you will meet. There's only one catch, and that is you won't know it at the time. You'll have to wait for the fullness of time to really understand how important those people are. So let me back up a little. I moved into East Residence in May 1977, and I took my final high school class on the Friday before. In those days, Guelph allowed a limited number of students to leave high school, essentially without completing their degree. I really didn't think too much about this, but I have to say probably it caused my mother great concern. See, she hadn't graduated from high school, though she went back and got her diploma after I became a professor. She wasn't about to not have a high school diploma and have her son be a professor. So me starting university without a high school diploma meant that I could end up getting no degree at the end of all this. And it now seems kind of absurd since I've spent my entire life in the university. In a certain way, you could say I've never graduated. And maybe that's what they're trying to tell me by giving me this degree today. I must tell you that on my first day, in my first lab, I spent the entire lab trying to find a paramecium on a microscope and draw it. To begin, you added a drop of fixant to slow it down so that you could draw the paramecium. But as soon as it stopped moving, it exploded. So 3 hours of chasing a paramecium, only to have it self-destruct due to osmotic pressure, was not a really easy entry into my university education. I headed back to East Residence questioning if I had made an error leaving high school. I learned a couple of things that day. One is, I don't want to be a zoologist. But secondly, more importantly, tough situations can provide a valuable learning experience, and I promised myself I'd be more prepared for my lab in the future. So I entered Guelph, probably like many people, with the dream of attending the Ontario Veterinary College. I love animals. I thought they were quite a bit easier to understand than humans. In those days, you could apply to OVC and avoid writing an essay if you got 85% in first year. So that was a huge motivation for me. I was fortunate I was selected for an interview, and I had the impression that it went pretty well. I did have great difficulty when they started asking me about the gestation period of various animals, including an elephant and a whale. We don't have many of those in Hamilton when I was growing up. So you can imagine I was really terribly disappointed when I received a letter from the OVC saying I was not accepted. So here I was, 19-year-old, and I thought my dream was over. And accepting this was not easy. But ultimately it forced me to think about what it was that I was good at and what I might do for a career. And that turned out to be chemistry. And I can recall during the interview saying my goal was to be a professor of veterinary medicine rather than a practicing vet. And I suppose this was prophetic in some way. This was largely shaped by my early experiences at Guelph. In my very first chemistry class, in my very first year, Professor Pat Henry offered anyone in the room a chance to come and visit his laboratory to see how research was done. Of course, I had no idea what I might find and no laboratory experience of any kind, but I took the chance and I went to his office. He was incredibly enthusiastic, and he told me about his work in catalysis and fuel cells. At that moment in my life, I had worked in a factory or delivered pizzas. So you might imagine that a door was opening that ultimately took me to where I stand before you today. And so I learned to head into the unknown, even if I felt very reluctant and totally unprepared in doing so. Soon after that, I started to take organic chemistry classes, and this led me to the second chemistry professor who entered my world and ultimately had a big impact on my life. Gord Lang, who's sitting in the front row, is a bespectacled organic chemistry professor with a sense of humor as dry as an Edmonton winter. And he lectured at the board without notes. Now, I can tell you, I've been a professor 30 years at Guelph. If I've lectured without notes, it's because I forgot them. So after class one day, he approached me and asked if I wanted a summer job doing research in his lab. And he could offer me the princely sum of $100 a week, less than half as much as I would have earned had I stayed and returned to my job at Stelco in Hamilton. And I can recall talking this over with my mother and just whether I could really afford to pay my tuition and also pay for an apartment if I took this job. But without hesitation, she supported me and said that I should do something that would open a door to a possible career. And what I learned that day was that money wasn't as important as building up your credentials. And sometimes mothers do know best. Now, my summer in Gord's lab got me completely hooked on research and ultimately led to my very first publication trying to synthesize an anti-cancer agent. Gord was known as a great teacher. In fact, he won a 3M teaching award, but he was also an excellent researcher and a dedicated mentor. Several of his former students have gone on to great success in chemistry, and all of them got their start here in Guelph. Gord invited me to attend a conference in Buffalo one weekend where I heard 4 amazing lectures. One of them captivated me so much that I contacted the speaker, and he ultimately became my PhD supervisor. The conference cemented my determination to get a PhD and become a professor, and someday hoped that my students would be presenting their work. Now, I have to say, one of the highlights of that summer was an invitation to his house for lunch, prepared by his wife, Gail, who's also here. Little did I know, she was a gourmet chef and he was a wine enthusiast. Now, I was a guy from the east end of Hamilton. I showed up thinking I'll have a beer, some plain well-cooked meat, and no green vegetables. They nearly fainted, I'm sure. And they've spent the last 40 years trying to educate me and my palate, and that process continues to this day with our annual meals. They're here today to celebrate, and I have to thank them. One of the things that I learned was that education comes in many forms, and opening your door to a young person can make a difference. So as Tony said, after graduating, I went to Wisconsin. I got a PhD, and I did a postdoc at Harvard, and then I accepted a position in Toronto. And over the last 30 years, I've had the pleasure of having more than 40 PhDs graduate from my group, 25 masters, 90 postdoctorals, and at least a couple of hundred undergraduates. And what I try to remember is my first day in the lab, in Gord's lab, and I try to remember that whenever I take on a new student. And I've really had some terrific and amazing students over my academic career. William Tam, where's William? William Tam is just one of those students who's now a professor here at the University of Guelph. And Gavin Chitsui was an undergraduate here. He worked with William. He did a PhD, and he's now on the faculty in Hong Kong. So I couldn't have possibly dreamed that things would turn out this way, and I'm very grateful for Guelph to give me my start. Now, when I was younger, I often enjoyed attending my children's school activities, and during a chat with Ed Boyce, a fellow parent at the ice skating class, he invited me and my family to come and spend a weekend at his chalet. I must tell you, I hadn't tried skiing until I was 40 years old, so my skills were extremely limited. But by going out of my comfort zone and learning a new athletic skill, I fell in love with skiing. Thanks to a really great weekend, I ended up buying a ski chalet. My children took lessons all the time. They raced, they became instructors, and they've coached racers. Ed and Margaret, his wife, are here today. I realized after writing this that I should maybe be reconsidering thanking Ed, since how much this all cost me to get the kids involved in skiing. Nevertheless, I made a really true friend who has provided me with all sorts of advice over the years. And our winters were changed forever by accepting one invitation. So, what I learned was that one small gesture of kindness, offered and accepted, can really change your life. So it's worth remembering that. Now, maintaining professional contacts can also yield completely unexpected results. 5 years ago, I was invited to attend a stem cell gala and sit at the table hosted by the University of University of Ottawa. Sorry, Guelph. What little I know about stem cells is thanks to my partner, Professor Julie Audet, who's also here, who's a biomedical engineer at U of T. Somewhat reluctantly, I attended this event, and my 15-year-old son, who's also here, Nathan, helped me to tie a bow tie. But first we watched a YouTube video to see how to do that. At the dinner, I reconnected with an old friend and colleague from Montreal who'd been following my career, and who was the very first person from the pharmaceutical industry to support our research. Much to my surprise, at the end of the dinner, he offered to nominate me for the Order of Canada. I really don't know how he did it, but a couple of years later, I got a call from the Governor General's office. A year ago, we had a night to remember at Rideau Hall, meeting some really extraordinary Canadians. Perhaps the very best perk of being an officer of the Order of Canada is presiding over citizenship ceremonies. I've done about a half a dozen of them now. And very much like the ceremony today, they're very different than a typical undergraduate lecture. Basically, everybody's happy, and everybody's happy to be there. So neither of my children ended up attending the University of Guelph, but my sister Berta did and graduated from Guelph in 2012. She even took some chemistry classes, I think maybe one from William. While her experiences were very different than mine, she met some really great people and was taught by some terrific professors. So I hope today is the start of an equally exciting adventure for each of you. What I can promise you is that life is full of the unexpected, and how you respond to the disappointments and the challenges will determine where you go. And I really wish the best for all of you. And if I have one suggestion, while you're living your lives, try to make some time to make our country a better place. Try to make it better than what you found it. We all need that, and we all need what you have to offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lautens, for those meaningful and inspiring words. Graduate, now's the time you have been waiting for. Will the graduate class please rise? Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
Oh, sorry. By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights and privileges and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Good morning, graduates and proud family and friends of the graduates. I'm sure you'll be excited, perhaps a little relieved, certainly happy to see your graduate walk across the stage and be greeted by the provost. And you may want to express your emotions in some audible manner. This is fine. Please go ahead. but may we ask the general audience hold your collective applause until after the presentation of each of the degree programs, and we will provide you with your cue. Thank you. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts, that they may be admitted to the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Jyoti Marie Nurse Gupta. Corey Sawkins. Nicholas Van Allen. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Emily Terada Carlson. Kyla Lara Faddock. James Douglas Miller. Brittany Michelle Paganaw. Michael Stokowski. Megan Elizabeth Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Arts. Leila Afra Siabi. Catherine Bellamy. Clarissa Davella. Sylvia Leonardo. Gabrielle Forget. James Ryan Gobati. Anne Hardy. Hannah Patricia Hodgson. Hannah Jones Erickson. Middle Lemoyne. Kristen Laura O'Donnell. Haley Elizabeth Oswald. Sarah Lauren Perkins. Laura Quigley. Stephanie Settle. Joseph James Sobara. Rodrigo Tello. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Fine Arts. Brett Allen DeWing. Elizabeth Ruth Pettigrew. Marcia Walker. Please join me in congratulating our magisterial graduates from the College of Arts. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Applied Science. Ethan Buckman. Carolyn Elizabeth Charbonneau. Mohammed El Magoubi. Donia Jama. Carolina Klabunde. Griffin James Lacey. Matthew Vers. Michael James Moscow. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Engineering. Vasily Dabowski. Kushan Sanjay Gandhi. Zinji O. Praveen Kumar Thata. Yu Chow. Bida Zhang. Chaudi Zheng. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Science. Bryson Borland. Denise Lane Kelly. Daniel Katowski. Monica Rose Kulak. Connor James Paul Paddock. Han Yao. Okay. Please join me in congratulating our magisterial graduates from the College of Physical and Engineering Science.
Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors Program. Kate Andrews. Sydney Daniel Bowers. Aaron Matthew Kadeski.
Thanks, Mom.
Jenna Elizabeth Caravaggio. Bianca Joan Cooper. Ryan Francis Koval. Juan Antonio da Silva Cabral. Cassandra Marie Davidson with distinction. Shirley Dobson. Carolyn Ann Elworthy with distinction. Alexa Jasmine Gargum with distinction. Ryan Cole Grover with distinction. Jonathan Charles Karkar. Mary Ann Rose King. Rachel Kreuter. Megan Ladouceur. Kenneth Kwan Kit Lau. Adam Laufer. Kathleen Patricia McKenna. Erica Claire Muse. Sarah Noel Nagy. Maya S. Nedu. Soteria Christina Pavlopoulos. Matthew Quigley. Amber Sherwood Robinson. Harrison John Shimmons. Alexandra Camille Simmons with distinction. Alyssa J. Tilk. And let's congratulate this group of graduates. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts General Program. Sean Anderson. Claudia Katerina Baczynski. Patrick Frank Berardi. Kyle Joseph Hamilton Buckle. Lucas David Campbell. Erica Lauren Chappell. Erica Elizabeth Doyle. Byron Alexander Kizas. Brendan Lancaster. Joseph Lindros. Matthew Mayer. Carly McDonald. Emma Payne. Corey Pritchard. Carla Schaus. Catherine Tassari. Alexis Vivian Rose Tettelbaum. Sayeda Sabine Zera. And let us congratulate this group of graduates. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Arts that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Sciences Honors Program. Victoria McLeod Bailey, with distinction. Martine Grennan. Rebecca Christine Landy. Matthew Gordon Camacho Palomino. Victoria Smith. Zachary Blake Douglas Byzantine. And congratulations to this last group.
We have one switch at the beginning. There's one recipient of a Master of Engineering, which I'm going to introduce, and then the undergraduate degrees. Madam Provost, I'd like to introduce the candidate, Dong Ying Kai, Master of Engineering. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that he is admitted to the degree Bachelor of Arts, General Program. Keith Barrett Anderson. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Computing Honors Program. Nicholas Robin Durish, Alexander John Lawson, Evan James Sala with distinction. Kyle Jeffrey Wilson. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that he may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Computing General Program. Timothy Allen Bratcher with distinction. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Engineering. Colin Michael Gibson with distinction. Methulan Pariyatambi. Saba Ali Sayed. Derek Trim. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science Honors Program. Kayla Ann Haney with distinction. Anna Lukis. Madam Provost, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that she may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science General Program. Alexandra Ellen Winton. Please join me in congratulating all the graduates.
Madam Provost, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present. Well, graduates, you did that. Congratulations. The next step of your life is about to begin. So, welcome all of you to the Griffin alumni family. We are a growing family. Close to 1,000 new graduates are joining the family this week. The University of Guelph alumni number now 125,000 graduates from around the world. We're all proud of you for your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph. And we look forward to seeing how the foundations you have developed here stand you in good stead in the years to come. We want to celebrate your achievements and successes and hope you will stay in touch. Remember that you are always welcome here on campus. You've made memories here, including today's ceremony. Remember this as well. You were a student for a short time. You are a Griffin forever. Today is also a very special day for one of the members of our faculty. For many of you will know, the Dean of Engineering, Tony Vanelli, has been Dean now for 2 terms. He has done a remarkable job as the Dean of Engineering, always championing engineering within the university, building it from one strength to the other, and innovating every day that he served the university. This is Tony Vanelli's, Dr. Vanelli's last graduation. I want to thank him for his leadership and his inspiration, his innovation, and his commitment to the University of Guelph. May I ask us all to give him a round of applause to thank him for his service to the university. This concludes our formal convocation ceremony. Immediately following this ceremony, Deans Anthony Vanelli and Don Bruce will host a tea for all graduates and their guests in Creelman Hall. This is an opportunity to congratulate the graduates, see Creelman Hall for another time, and hope that you can attend. Graduates, once you have taken all your photographs, please return your gowns and hoods to the tent outside this hall. One final note, we are hosting 5 convocation ceremonies today. Waiting outside is the next group of excited family and graduates ready for their ceremony. To help us prepare for the hall for that next group, would you please exit through the doors to the right and the left of the stage. Thank you for your cooperation. I hope you had a fabulous experience. Good luck. Convocation is dismissed.